Good morning, you guys. Happy Friday morning if you are in Central Standard Time or in North America. Can you hear the geese in the background and the birds? Wow, it is just a gorgeous day here today. And the smell smells like green things growing. So good. Oh. Well, for those of you who may not know me, my name is Catherine Oster. Hello. And I live in Northwest Saskatchewan, Canada. Good morning, Carmen. And it's summertime here. And it's my favorite time. We live on a farm, and I've got this amazing space here on our deck, and I just love to be out here. So, coffee chat this week. We're going to talk about being present and what that can create for you and how you can start practicing it in your life right now if you would like to. Who else is live with me? I've got Carmen. Good morning. Good morning, you guys. Thanks for joining me. I can see comments, so if anybody has any questions. Robert, good morning. Okay, so I'm going to talk about an event, a situation event that showed up with my horse a couple weekends ago, and how what I created out of that with just being present. Okay, so I've got this really amazing horse, and I've talked with her about her on Coffee Chats before. She's really invited me to be present in all of areas of my life, but especially with her, because when I'm not present with her in the moment, she starts to be crazy and we start to fight about things. But when I am being present, we can work really well together. And believe me, before I was willing to get present with her, I thought about all the things. I considered selling her. I considered just selling her because it was uncomfortable for me and it was hard. But it actually isn't that hard once you're willing to step into that and be it. And I would say the hardest thing about being present is like that it's not a doing. Like, I am such a doing person. I mean, I can work hard all day till the cows come home. But being present where there's really no work involved or no thinking involved is probably one of the hardest things for me to achieve. But I can sense that I'm accomplishing that. Hey, Shauna. Hello, Mom. Anyway, so I'm hosting this event. I have Lindsay Stroh is a dressage clinician. Good morning, Lynn. I know, the birds are so good. And she's from Alberta, near Wetaskiwin, Edmonton area, and I was hosting her for a clinic, which we just had last weekend, which was amazing. So I'm having her come to my facility. We have got a full day of riders, the clinic is full, and I'm riding my horse, right? Well, the weekend before the clinic happened, I'm giving the guys a ride out to the field for seeding, because we also grain farm and we're finishing up seeding. And Trace and Helena, my son and daughter, they were at home just doing some outside chores, and I didn't have room for them in the vehicle, but you know, they're getting old enough now. Trace is 12, which I can't believe. Anyway, and I was only going to be about an hour and a half. So, driving out to the field, and I get a phone call from Helena. Mom, your horse is caught in the fence. And Mom, when she says my horse, she means this mare, who is phenomenal, and she can be crazy at times, and she's hurt herself before. But anyway, she's caught in the fence, and I'm like, oh my God. And the first thing I noticed is I wasn't being present. I started going into all of these terrible things that could happen to her. And I'm trying to ask Helena, okay, like, how is she caught in the fence? What fence is she caught in? Because in her pen is some panels as well as barbed wire. And I'm like, if it's barbed wire, oh my God. And I had just kind of, I was far enough away where I really should I could have came back right away, but then that kind of would have messed everybody up with seating. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, it was kind of like a hard choice to make, right? But I really had to pull myself in, like pull myself to be present from all of like the things that could be going bad with her right now and wrong, into the actual moment. And how I do that with myself. Hello, Saiful. I think that's how I say your name. How I do that with myself is I just say like, be present, Catherine. Like I have to be really kind of stern with myself. Like, stop it. Stop going down the rabbit hole of you're gonna have to put your horse down and she's wrecked, to like be present. And I just pulled over and I took a moment and I'm like, okay, do I require to go home right now? Do I need to go right now? And the first thing that popped into my head was no. And now I have to trust that awareness, right? Like I have to trust that. So I'm like, okay, no, okay, we're gonna finish this and I'm going to handle this when I get home. And then the kid sent me a picture. So she was caught in the panel. It was her back leg. It looked like she probably kicked out and got it caught. And she was struggling to get it out, obviously. And she was probably in there for like 15 or 20 minutes. And then all of a sudden, Trace texted me, she's out. She got out of the panel, but she's laying down and she's not getting up. And I'm like, oh boy, down the rabbit hole again. She broke her leg. Like, I'm going to have to put her down. What am I going to do? And I really kind of went down this whole path, and I'm like, okay, be present. Now, the other thing too with, I've been playing with Access Consciousness and these tools, and like, what if everything is energy? What if everything is energy? And just because I'm not with her in that moment, like, how can I energetically be present with her and engage with me? And what is right about all of this? So I was still about a half an hour from home, and I really kind of got the sense that I could just ask somebody for contribution, like somebody who could help me be present with what is going on. And the first gal who popped was Crystal Crawford. And so I texted her, I'm like, hey, SOS, like, do you have a few minutes to chat? Hello, Philomena. And Crystal is like, yes, I do. Call me, So I called her and we chatted, and I told her what was going on, and then I started crying, just kind of allowed myself to get vulnerable with what is going on right now, that I don't really know what's going on because I'm not there, but like energetically, And so she helped me. We did an energetic exercise, which we can actually do right now. She's like, okay, Catherine, be present, basically. And take a deep breath, be present in your body, feel your feet on the floor, tap into the earth, and energetically expand out. And how you energetically expand out is you just ask to energetically expand out. Expand out. And then she told me to think of my horse. So I thought of her. And so I included her in the energetic presence of. And she asked, and all of that. So we did. I'm talking with, like, being present with the horse, myself, the earth, all simultaneously. And there's these energetic processes that you learn in Access classes, and one of them is called restoration of communion with the earth, which I often use when I have client horses come in for training. Like if horses have been trailered a lot, or anything like that, they just, like, the natural state of horses is to be in communion with the earth, but sometimes that communion gets cut off or disrupted. And so you just say the words, and I put my hands on the horse and I say restoration of communion with the earth. So we did that. And then she said, okay, will you have more information when you go to see her now? And I said, yeah, I would. And I was more present, and I was like, okay, we got this. And so I got home, and when I pulled into the yard, I had a client horse, and all my horses I see first before I get to my mare, who's at the other end of the yard. And they were all laying down. It's like they were all tapped into and being present with. It was really an interesting thing, and it was so peaceful. And I've never pulled into the yard and seen all of the horses laying down simultaneously. So it was really interesting. And then I went to, oh my God, she died, and they're holding space for her. But that wasn't being present. Anyway, I got to her pen, and she was standing, and she was walking, and everything was fine. Like, fine in terms of she's walking fairly normal. So then I was like, wow, okay, this is okay. Now the leg that she got caught in with was her left hind leg. And she actually originally injured this leg as a 2-year-old in the pasture. But it was a laceration on the front of the hock of her left hind leg. But I didn't get to it. I didn't notice it until it was a few weeks old. So it was already swollen, but healing not properly. So when I noticed it, I brought her into the yard and handled it then, but there was already like a lot of stuff going on with it that wasn't really a contribution to it, I guess. And so when I look back, so this is probably the 3rd time that she's got her left hind leg caught up. But every time it's like she needs to, like, it's almost like she kind of knows. And we've been doing really, really amazing things, her and I, with regards to dressage, and we're starting to train flying lead changes now. And I wonder if she actually needed to get in there and break up that scar tissue, you know, so that Hawk can heal greater, so we can continue on with our performance career together. So the other interesting thing that brought about all this is that day I was also going to teach riding lessons in Lloydminster. I've got clients there that I teach, and so I hosed her hock, put some liniment on it. It looked fine, like it wasn't really that swollen after after knowing what had happened to her. I went to teach lessons. Now, when you're present with things, you're not in judgment of them. You know, I wasn't in the judgment that this was wrong, because if I'm judging this event as happening as wrong, then I'm probably not going to tell people about it because I don't want to be wrong, right? So this presence thing, it just allowed me to, and then it gives me, when you're present, you also have more clarity about what choices are available to you in the moment. And so I'm teaching lessons, and I started kind of telling the ladies, like, what happened. I'm like, geez, my morning's been crazy. One of my friends just happens to have a laser for laser therapy. And she's like, oh my gosh, Catherine, you need to take my laser for the week. Like, she's so amazing, and she just wanted to contribute. And I'm like, are you sure? And she's like, yes, please take my laser. This is how you use it on your horse, etc. And then another client, there's like these products called Back on Track, and they're really good for therapeutic. They promote circulation. They're made out of special material. I have a Back on Track hawk boot, but there's these new ones out that have like way better padding, and they're just more comfortable for the horse. I didn't have that one. Well, one of my other riding lesson clients, she just is like, I have these hawk boots. They're new ones, or the pad ones. Would you like to take them? And I'm like, oh my God, yes, that would be great. And so I got home like with these tools in hand. That same day, that night, I started using the laser, the liniment, the cold hosing, the Back on Track hawk boots, and this hawk, it just changed. It healed so fast. And like my friend was telling me, when you can use this laser, like it enhances soft tissue healing by 70%. And all of the things. And then we rode in the clinic. Like the week after she got her leg caught in the panel, last weekend we rode. And I was like, it was great. Like the work we got to do, it was so good. And her leg is like, even looks better than it did before she hurt it, actually, because there's always kind of been a little bit of sometimes when we would work hard, like she was never really sore on it, but I was noticing it. And after this, how it's healed was such a contribution. And then I've got another friend who also was contributing with her MagnaWave, and she has a TheraPlate. Like, we did all the things we could do that week. And I really get that we healed this leg stronger than it was before. So when you're present, when you're being present with things, you can change them. You're aware of the choices that are available to you. You're not judging anything as good or bad or right or wrong. You just are. And I wasn't even going into, like, I could have kind of been a little dramatic and been like, oh my God, I have to deal with this horse. I can't teach riding lessons. Well, that wouldn't have created greater, because then I wouldn't have gotten the tools, Presence allows you to have choice. Being present allows you to receive contribution. Yes, Leanne, receive, receive, receive. From presence, you can receive. And what if, I love this whole other thing, is like, what if the universe has your back? And when I look at this event, if I hadn't left my kids at home, I probably wouldn't have known it happened, actually, because when I had gotten home, she was standing and kind of just eating and being normal. But because I did leave Trace and Leanne at home, I was aware of what happened, so I could take action, like, immediately. The universe has your back. If I had been at home and saw it, I might have went into a little more drama. So this whole thing about being present. Anyway, so if you would like to practice this for yourself, you can. The first thing I suggest is getting your bars ran. Access Bars is this amazing body process, and it allows you to just let go of all of the energetic baggage you might be carrying around that is actually keeping you from being present. I used to hold on to a lot of things from the past. When you're living in the past, you're not being present in the moment. Getting your bars ran allows you just to let that go. Like, let it go. And so first thing, get your bars ran. The next thing is just keep reminding yourself to expand out energetically. The moment we contract, we are going into judgment. We're going into force and effort and things that we think. We're not actually being the energetic being we could be. So you have to expand out energetically. And I just say, expand out into the infinite space of the infinite being that I truly be. And in the beginning, I didn't really feel like when I would say expand, I was really expanding. But I just thought, hey, what do I have to lose? I'm going to keep doing this. And then I started to notice things. I started to notice that my crazy monkey mind, like when I expanded out my brain, it would just stop and allow me to be present. And just feeling your feet on the ground, tapping into the earth. The earth is very grounding and invites you to be present. So that's what I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for joining me live and watching this video, all of you guys now and in the future. If you would love to share it, I would be really grateful. And if you want to really practice more of this presence thing, this is what the next Daily Dose is all about, actually. And the Daily Dose is this program that I run where every day we run some energetic clearing statements and have conversations about a certain topic. And this next dose is called the Balls to Be Present. So we're going to be talking about this presence thing for 30 days. I don't have a registration link ready yet, but I will soon. And I think we're going to start on Wednesday, June 8th. Whatever day Wednesday is. I think it's June 8th. So yeah, if you have any question about that, let me know. Thank you so much, Leanne. Thank you. Mwah. We'll see you guys later. Have an amazing day wherever you are, whatever you're up to. Bye-bye for now.